First of all, if that is your real name, you know, you ought to try a video response, but maybe you haven't sucked hard enough and long enough. And see, that's the thing is what we do as actors in Japan is nothing. The money, if you want to look it up, if you want to Google it, the real money being made in Japan is not by the piddly little movie business, their crappy little movie business, their crappy little TV business. The real money's made by the porno. Do your homework. Porno is where the money's at. That's where the money's being made in Japan. Porno. And freaking, let's see, why I have liver cancer. Actually, I have liver cancer because I worked a job. And see, that makes me think maybe you're a North Korean spy, because I used to work on the kind of jobs that we had Korean barbecue for lunch, if you know what I'm talking about. The kind of devices I worked on. We had Korean barbecue. And you're probably just another North Korean spy, nothing special and all that, and you have nothing better to do than to troll a site like this, and get insulted because I call you the C word, cunt. Oh my God. Well, how should I address you, pussy? Let me know next time, bitch. I mean, cunt's better than bitch, right? Bitch would be like an insult. Cunt is like a pussy. It's just like vagina. It's not really a derogatory thing. If I would have said you were a bitch, and I don't think you say here, you say, and then I'm a cancerous dick. I had cancer for 5 years. Well, actually, I had cancer since I was 9. And you try surviving cancer that long, and you see how many people that are alive I have documented cancer since I was 9 years old. And so you tried telling me how many people you see alive that have survived cancer since they were 9 years old, But part of it was, it was my job. It was my work, was to build little toys, to have Korean barbecue, to invite people over for Korean barbecue and Chinese barbecue and Russian barbecue. Yeah, so we specialized in barbecuing devices, so that's what I did. So it's I actually worked for a living. I worked with my hands. I did an honest job. I mean, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with doing that. I think the world should be nuclear free, to be honest with you. And I don't really agree with what I did, but it was what I did for a job. And everybody knows in America or Japan, you name the country, to get your job, you get your job by going. The casting couch hasn't changed, sweetheart. And if you're going to try and tell me that it has, you're preaching to the wrong choir. Because I know people in the business that do photography, that do, shall we say, pornography, and that's basically how they work their way up. That's how they get in the business. So let's see what else, and talk about researchers, mutated idiots like you. Yeah, I guess I was mutated and I'm an idiot. I can't go wrong with that. Watch the origins of the disease. Maybe you can learn something before your next relapse. I know more about cancer than you ever will. Because when you have cancer, from when you're 9 years old, you're reading every book, you're studying everything possible you can to save your life. And that's what I did since I was 9 years old, was I did everything possible. They told me when I was 9 years old that I had some kind of disease and they didn't know what it was. And it wasn't until I was like 48 years old they had a diagnosis for the type of cancer that I had. And so then I chose to go to Japan and all that stuff. let's see. So actually, Japan, yeah, it does have good researchers. There's good research and all that stuff. I was just mainly saying about the other part of NHK, these shows that just basically they don't work on harmonizing people. They basically work on making people more racist propaganda. A lot of the shows are racist propaganda, and you can tell that when you're out in public. I get treated like an object. I get treated like I get racist energy at me 24/7 all day long, every freaking day. You know, that's what I put up with to live here. And you know, maybe you don't because you're a girl. Okay, we'll say a girl. That maybe is a safe word there. You know, yeah. So maybe you don't get that, but I get constantly because people are insecure and all that, and I just get their racist guff all day long. And I know other actors and everything. And what's really funny too about the field that I used to work in is a lot of people try to act like they're Aussies or they're not even really American soldiers like I was, and they try to pretend like they are. And the Japanese directors are so gullible that they hire them when actually I have more experience than they do with a lot of stuff. I played with a lot of different toys. And so, you know, I guess that's probably part of the reason how I got cancer, and then part of it was biological too. You can basically, for your information, if you don't know, you know, I can stick a syringe full of somebody with cancer and stick it into somebody else and they'll get it. So you can spread cancer blood to blood. You probably didn't know that one either. So, and basically, the number one cause of why there's cancer in the world, I mean, if you look at Japan, for example, you'll see these old codgers, these 80-year-old guys smoking cigarettes out in public where they shouldn't be, polluting everybody else with their poison. And what they should do is switch to chewing tobacco, but they don't encourage that because Japan, as far as I know, Japan tobacco is owned by the government, so there's a conflict of interest there. That's another little tidbit. But see, the other factor is why they get to live to be old and everything is the diet. See, diet's a big factor. It's the main reason. And that's how I survived since I was 9 years old, was I figured out at a very early age that my cancer, my diet had a direct influence in my cancer, because I noticed when I ate red meats and meats that were high in iron, my levels went up. And when I stopped eating red meat, my cancer levels went down, and that's a fact. So what did I do? I cut down on red meat to like once a week, maybe once a month. I cut down on chicken and other meats, and I increased on fish because I was brainwashed that I couldn't get enough of protein from vegetables and all that. So the increase in cancer in America, and this is informative right now, and see if they talk about this on NHK. See if they talk about that it's from diet. See if they talk about it's from GMOs. See if they talk about it's from GMOs. GMOs from America. Yep. That's what cancer's from. Cancer, anytime you're messing around with the food chain the way they are. And that's why you have prostate cancers and so forth. Your prostate cancers is from milk. And it's from the stuff they feed the cows. The GMOs, poison, and all that. And let's see, I'm a total idiot. That's a little bit of an insult to wish death on somebody, you know, because I said cunt. You know, that's a little bit of a heavy wish that are you threatening to kill me? Is that what you're doing? Is that a threat? Because you don't want to threaten me to kill me. You really don't. With what I know. And that's a promise. So there. Because of the stuff I worked around for years. So, you know, And let's see, genetically mutated idiots. Actually, you're probably on your way to cancer. You've probably already got it. You're probably eating deep, fatty, fried, greasy foods. Sugar feeds it. It feeds it. See what cancer is it's cells that mutate rapidly, really quickly. And so cells mutate the quickest from sugar. So sugar feeds cancer, big time. And so does red meat. And so does GMOs. But you're not going to hear that, and you're not going to hear that on NHK because they're controlled by the same government media that's controlled. And the GMOs are illegal in a lot of different countries right now for that very same reason. And that is actually why I live in Japan right now, is because they don't have GMOs that much in some places. But when they start having GMOs in the diet here, I'm out of here. Once they start feeding people GMOs in their regulatory diet, I'm out of here. I'll keep going to country to country to country because, you know, I don't want to get a relapse again. How did I not get a relapse again? By not eating foods that cause cancer, basically. So, yeah, and like you say, the C word for NHK models, I don't know what else to call them. I mean, cute. It could have been cute, using the C word cute, or whatever. You know, and like I said, most of the movie industry in Japan is porno. Flat out. It's like 16 billion. Do your homework. I mean, the little Saigon dramas we do, where I'm playing an American, or like you are probably trying to play an American, but you're really a spot from North Korean troll, is what you probably are. And it just amazes me. I'm thrilled that North Korea goes out of their way to troll sites like this, to throw insults like that, and save up, do whatever you have to do. I'm not telling you to, you know, but do what you have to do, and do a video response if you're gonna do, you know, anything like that or whatever. But it's just, I was making my comment was that I have been cancer free for 5 years, which for me means is a big frickin' deal. And I had to come from America to here to get that test from my doctor that administered the chemotherapy for me here, because my own country, America, that gave me the damn stuff, that gave me the cancer, wouldn't treat me. How's that? You work, you're loyal to your country. Think about that. You work, you're a slave. I worked for 20 years of my life at the same job, steady job. I got 2 to 4 months off a year and stuff. And I freaking, you know, that's what I get. All those years of hard work, I worked my ass off at a really dangerous job. I mean, if you weren't paying attention, half the city got blown up, you know, or half of whatever. And then we had to do jobs that were so dangerous that they could only be done at night because there was a lower amount of personnel, because there'd be less collateral damage if there was a mistake, if you get my gig. And a lot of my coworkers died from cancer. So, but when my own country won't even treat me for cancer, and I have to come here to Japan, so I'm really grateful to Japan. I just don't particularly like the programming, you know, and I think I have that right to not like the program and voice my opinion about it, even to a North Korean spy, troll. So, anyways, so, you know, if it wasn't for Japan, I wouldn't be alive right now, because my insurance company wouldn't pay for the correct treatment for my chemotherapy to get rid of my cancer. So I had to suffer for 9 more years of having cancer before I could get the right treatment here. And like I see all these people on face brag, and they all brag about these stupid things, and that's why I call it face brag. I mean, why not talk about something real, like someone that actually has overcome cancer, for 9 years of their, for 5 years of their life. Most cancer survivors don't live past 5 years. It's less. They call a cancer success rate in the United States 2 years or more. That's called a successful rate. And I just buried a good friend of mine that had pancreatitis cancer. He was the longest living survivor of pancreatic cancer of anybody. And he was on chemotherapy for a year and a half. You have to be pretty goddamn tough. And then I had to watch him fight over his assets. They didn't care about him or him being a movie producer of the movies he made and all that. All they cared about was his freaking money. Yeah, I had to watch that. And I'm still devastated about that.